Hi, it is iYikKam time again. So as usual, I always receive many questions from email, messengers, and so forth. And today I received 3 questions, which is very interesting. So I decided to share with you. Since these questions have to do with Chinese culture and the facts, so I like to share with you, because this kind of thing you cannot read in books or Google or interpretations or guessing. Okay, so I want to tell you straight what it is, so here on you are clear. The first question is asking me, so what is a Wing Chun lineage mean? Okay. We need to understand what is a lineage mean. Lineage is actually means a special way of leading one to experience Wing Chun. Okay. So it has its way of teaching. It has its signature. Okay. So let me make an analogy to you so that it is easier for you to see what's going on. So take Zen Buddhism. In Japanese it's called Zen, and then in the Chinese it's called Chan. So we all know that Zen Buddhism, Chan Buddhism, is a teaching of Buddha. Okay. Now, that cannot be changed. It is a teaching of Buddha. Okay. Now, and in Chan, one need to attain realizations, or sometimes people call it attain enlightenment. Okay. So what is that realization or enlightenment is about? That is about experience a physiological state, or in other words, is a mind and body state. Okay, which is of course taught by Buddha. Okay. Now, in China, you have many lineages, many Chan lineages, or many Zen lineages. So what did they do? Well, whatever taught by Buddha is still as it is, right? But they have a special, different way of lead the student to experience what the Buddha is teaching or describing, or another word is lead a special way to lead the student to attain or to have an experience of the physiology state of what is the Buddha teaching. Okay. So for example, one of the lineage might use the method of, say, you want to know what the Buddha referred to as the enlightenment state, you just wait for me, I'll tell you. And then the student will keep waiting, and then after, say, 5 minutes, then the teacher say, you know what, while you are waiting, that is the physiology state of what the Zen teaching is teaching about. And then another teacher, when the student asked him, so what is this experience of this Zen enlightenment? The teacher just slapped the head of the student. Okay. And then the student will experience what? When you get a slap, your mind is blank, meaning the thinking stop, and your awareness is there. So that is not different than the first teacher to ask you to just wait. When you wait, you don't think, you just wait. Okay, that's awareness. And the second is get a slap on the head or a tap on the head. No, of course not slap or a hard right now. Then the student actually attain the same physiology state. Okay. So asking somebody, the way of teaching, asking somebody to wait and to give the student a slap, or maybe it's better say a tap in the head. They are two different type of lineage. Okay, but it is still Zen Buddhism. Nothing changed about Zen Buddhism. It is just that this teacher using different method, different way to let the student to realize, to attain, to experience what is going on. Okay, so if you bring to the Wing Chun, okay, the lineage of Wing Chun, there are many ways can lead or can coach the student to attain or develop Wing Chun. There's no single way. Okay. However, we need to know Wing Chun is what? It's a sticking body short strike. Okay, that nobody should change it, because it is like Zen Buddhism. Zen Buddhism is Zen Buddhism. Okay, and Wing Chun is a sticking body short strike. Wing Chun is not a long fist or anything. So in order for a teacher be able to teach the student, say in Wing Chun, the teacher have to really clearly know what is sticking body short strike. Now, one teacher might use a way to convey or to let the student understand sticking body short strike as if the student asks, so teacher, what is a sticking body short strike? The teacher might say, hey, you know, just go hugging your friend, hugging your friend, hugging. So hugging is sticking the body, right? It's one way. Right? So this can be one way, one of the lineage. But still, it is a sticking body short strike. It is no go off tangent. Okay? So that's what lineage is about. So people might say, hey, you know, this teacher, when they talk about teaching Wing Chun, he say, oh, Wing Chun is Tan Bong Fo. But the other teacher might say, Wing Chun is a Huyên, Calm, Tiu, Tap. And the other teacher might say, it's Oi Lin Sao, Noi Lin Sao. This is a different lineage, but it's still leading the student to experience sticking body short strike. Okay? Now, that is very different than today. Everybody say, this is XYZ Wing Chun. Like this is Hendrik Wing Chun. Really? Those actually is a mistake. You cannot say, for example, in the Zen Buddhism stuff, you cannot say this is Hendrik's Zen. No, you cannot have a Hendrik Zen. Zen is the teaching of the Buddha. You have to follow the teaching of the Buddha. You cannot say, well, this is Hendrik Zen. So you cannot say, this is my Wing Chun, this is your Wing Chun. What the heck are you talking about? Wing Chun is Wing Chun. Wing Chun, there's no your Wing Chun or my Wing Chun. The minute you say there's your Wing Chun or my Wing Chun, that means it's already screwed up already. You have no idea what is Wing Chun. Okay? In the China, when they put their name in front of the Wing Chun, like say Hendrik Wing Chun, actually it's not. Wing Chun belongs to Hendrik or Hendrik's Wing Chun. It is the Wing Chun, okay, the Wing Chun is still Wing Chun, and it is Hendrix teaching the Wing Chun, or Hendrix School Wing Chun. Okay, Hendrix School Wing Chun. So you know that the Hendrix School is just the Hendrix School. Wing Chun is still Wing Chun. Okay, so like today you study physics. You can go to Harvard University, you study physics. You can go to Stanford University, you study physics. So in Harvard you have a physics department. In UC Berkeley you have a physics department. In Oxford University you have a physics department. All physics, still the same physics. However, different school might have a different curriculum or anything, but still teaching the same thing. So lineage is like you can see as like physics department of Harvard, physics department of MIT, Oxford. That's it. Okay. Lineage must never change what Wing Chun is. So I hope that this is clear for you. Okay. So Wing Chun, well, like it or not, it has to have the 4 momentum zone. It has to be sticking body short strike. Otherwise, it is not Wing Chun. Serious. Okay. Now, the second question is asking me about this. Somebody is saying that practice Xiu Lim Tao set as Qigong. Practice Xiu Lim Tao set as Qigong. So the question asked me, is that true that, Henrik, is that true that Xiu Lim Tao set can be practiced as Qigong? Okay. So this is a big problem today, okay, in modern Wing Chun, especially for past 4 decades. Okay, now. So what is a Xiu Lim Tao set? What is a Xiu Lim Tao set? Well, today, really clear description. The Xiu Lim Tao set is based on the 6-13-3, the 6 core element, 13 state, and 3 system key. Okay. So anybody practice Xiu Lim Tao set, by default it has a 3B state within the Xiu Lim Tao set. So Xiu Lim Tao set is more than just Qigong. Xiu Lim Tao set is this 6-13-3. Okay, and it is based on the 3B physiology state, and that 3B physiology state is actually physical integrations of the full body, full physical body, synchronized or support by the breathing and the meridian flow, because it's 6-13-3. That's what Xiu Lim Tao is about. Okay, now, so we like it or not, Qigong is a part of Xiu Lim Tao sets. So what is the point to call saying that, oh, we practice Xiu Lim Tao at Qigong? Well, if you look at YouTube, when people say that, you know what they mean? They mean they practice Xiu Lim Tao set following like the Tai Chi way. You have to be song and small, soft. You practice it slow. And that is called the Xiu Lim Tao as Qigong. In reality, that is crazy. Because Xiu Lim Tao itself has the 6-13-3. It was designed that way. Why do you want to practice like Tai Chi, be slow and soft, and then call it Qigong? Which is completely off target. Xiu Lim Tao itself, 613.3, within that have a breathing element, have the Qi element, has to attain the 3B state. Otherwise, it doesn't work for Xiu Lim Tao. Okay? So that's reality. And of course, you can say, you know, I'm going to practice Xiu Lim Tao set, which is focused on the Qi element. And then you need to be able to know how to handle this meridian flow. That means you need to be able to get into what? The 11th state of the state 11 of the 613.3, and only there you can start to focus on this Qi element, how to refine it. Okay? So this is the reality. You practice Xiu Lim Tao set, which is you can focus on the Qi element and refine it if you like. And the reality is Xiu Lim Tao set itself have the Qi element, have the breathing element, have everything. 613.3 is within it. So there is no point to call it. I practice Xiu Lim Tao as Qigong, which is actually you string the whole thing down, the entire 613.3, you string it down as say practice of the breathing or the Qi element. But then you don't really practice it, because people who talk about practice Xiu Lim Tao as Qigong is actually copying the Tai Chi guy, saying that you do it slowly, you do it softly. But if you look at their leg, they're still clamping their knees and so forth. And how is that handle the breathing, the 3B state, and the Qi element? It can. So for the past 40 years or so, it get into this problem. We call it Qigong, but you look at, hey man, the breathing cannot get into the 3B state. The Qi element cannot flow properly because you clamp the heck out of your lower four bowls. Okay? So I hope that you see this clearly. The third thing is about this people, this Wing Chun friend asking me about. So Wing Chun is from Shaolin, right? Years ago, people go to Shaolin, Songshan Shaolin in the north, and make this, what do you call it? It's like a stone where you carve name and then saying that Wing Chun going back to Shaolin, this kind of stuff. And so people ask me about, well, no, is that Wing Chun from Shaolin? Because people say, well, Wing Chun from Ermei, Wing Chun from White Crane, Wing Chun from this. Is that Wing Chun from Shaolin? Is that Wing Chun from Northern Shaolin? From Southern Shaolin? This is a question which we need to really understand the background of what's going on. So the entire thing start before or pre-1560 General Qigong time. Okay, at that time Ming Dynasty is pretty weak, so the Japanese pirate go disturbing the southern China, and the emperor sent order to Shaolin, say, hey, get your martial man to help straighten out the Japanese pirate in the southern China. Okay, so the northern Shaolin Temple, the Songshan Shaolin Temple we know today, send their people, the monk, the martial monk, to the southern China. Okay, so they fought the pirates, and many get injured, and then they do not go back to the northern Shaolin Temple anymore. They just stay in the southern China. Okay, they built their temple, and then the Buddhist temple, and then they stay there. Okay, some, you know, they're injured, some of their leg is cut off, and so forth. So they stay there. So of course, all these monks, this martial monk, they are from the Songshan or northern Shaolin. Okay, so that is the beginning of the so-called southern Shaolin. However, you have to be careful. At that time, the Shaolin is famous with what? With the pole techniques. With the pole techniques. You can read in the history that they're using these pole techniques, or they call it the pole Shaolin pole techniques, using by the martial monk of the Shaolin. Okay. So Qigong come, okay, and really settle the Japanese pirate issue. And at that time, Qigong reorganized the Chinese martial arts. Okay, and you can read about it in the writing of 1560. The Qigong saying, in the writing, in the record, right, in the in his 千经节要 over there, you know, the fifth canon, he said that, chapter 14. He said that Shaolin is famous in its pole, okay, but I didn't say Shaolin is good at its fist, okay. And then within there, you can see that this is listed. This is called Mianzhang. Mianzhang is the name of the fish, a style, Mianzhang. And Mianzhang is famous with his duanda, short strike. Okay, so it's over there. And then Qigong saying that, General Qigong say, okay, it's better that you know short strike, you know long fist, you know takedown, you know groundwork, ground fighting. Okay, it's better you know that. So if you want to ask about, no, is it true that the Chinese have the ground fighting? Yes. Now, if you look at the dog fist of the dog style of the Fujian, is based on the Qigong writing too, on the ground fighting. Okay. So this is 1560, and then after General Qigong defeat the Japanese army, and then wrote this fifth canon, the classic, it get into the, now quote unquote we call it the southern Shaolin Temple. Okay, so get into that, and then it evolved into the Shaolin, into this book. Okay, this is the Shaolin short strike book. Okay, the classical, or the canon. Okay, and so this is written in 1784, but based on the researcher of the Chinese researcher, it can track back to the 1678 something. Okay, you can see that it's right clearly. Shaolin short strike. Okay, and it's clearly say here. Actually, in the beginning, okay, in the preface, it actually say that, yeah, in the preface, it actually quoting Shaolin, it actually quoting the Qigong's fifth canon. Okay, and over here it said, you know, when is it? This is 1784. Okay, when he wrote this book. So whatever the content, you can trace back to 100 years. So about 1678. So it evolved into this. Okay, so at this time, this so-called Southern Shaolin actually is taken the Qigong's writing or teaching, or the fifth canon, and the Mianzhang Duan Da, the Mianzhang short strike art, evolved into the Shaolin short strike. Okay, so now this is different than the northern Shaolin art already. You see what I'm talking about now? Okay, because the monk live in the monk who get injured, or the monk who did not go back to the northern Shaolin, they reside in the southern China, and after the general Qigong, they adapt general Qigong teaching, and they adapt the Mianzhang Duan Da, the Mianzhang short strike, and it evolved. The Shaolin art in the southern China evolved into the Shaolin short strike art. Okay, so this is what happened after the 1650s. Then it got hit by what? It got hit by China. The Ming Dynasty lost to the Qing, the Manchurian. Okay, so the dynasty changed into the Qing Dynasty. And at that time, the Ming generals and the Ming people, the resistance force, okay, the Ming resistance force, actually mixed up with the monk in the southern China, the Shaolin monk in the southern China. Not all of it, but some, they get mixed with them. Okay. So in other words, that the Ming resistance army, or when it become the anti-Qing group, it mixed with the southern monk, which is originated from the northern Shaolin of the China. Okay, and this thing, it evolved further. That is where Wing Chun created. And when it evolved, it's still using the Shaolin short strike base. When it evolved, you can see they fuse the Mei 12 Zhuang, the Mei 12 Zhuangs, the technology of handling the Qi element, breathing element, because this is the higher technology, into the Shaolin short strike to refine it. And then it also fused into the Fujian white cranes, like the momentum type and some techniques into this Shaolin short strike. For example, the Tan Sao, okay? Those things, they fuse into the Shaolin short strike. So it becomes Wing Chun, okay? So at that time, the Shaolin, the southern Shaolin is already mixed. You really don't know it is monk they refer to, or you refer to this anti-Qing people because they reside in they live in those temples. Okay, it can be many temples there in the southern China, because these people are all, it just actually originate from the northern Shaolin temple prior to the Qigong, right? So this is what happened, okay? And we know very clearly, if you want to say that there's a Bible of Wing Chun, this is the Bible of Wing Chun, okay? Because Wing Chun is a sticking body short strike, and this is the Bible, and also you can see here like this is the zigzag step footwork, this is the triangle footwork, this is the plum flower Mui Fa footwork. It's in this book. So when I'm talking about sticking body short strike, I'm talking this thing. You see how close the bodies stick together? Okay. So if you want to talk about Wing Chun from southern Shaolin, this is the Bible. Okay. And actually, it is not that clear if you say that, oh, Wing Chun from southern Shaolin. We can today go direct to this book. Wing Chun is from Shaolin short strike. We don't want to say Shaolin, northern Shaolin, southern Shaolin. Okay? We want to very clearly saying that Wing Chun is from Shaolin short strike, and we know Shaolin short strike now, as well. I just now repeat for you the evolution. Wing Chun is from Shaolin short strike. That's better to say that. Oh, Wing Chun is from the northern Shaolin. Wing Chun is from the southern Shaolin. What the heck are you talking about? Northern Shaolin and southern Shaolin is just like talking about a monastery in somewhere else. But that doesn't tell the technological signature of the DNA. If you say Wing Chun is from Shaolin short strike, very specifically you come to this book, and it is actually traceable. It exists. It's a real deal in the Chinese history of martial arts, and it can be traced to the Qigong book. And you know this technology is a solid one. Okay? And then you can go to Ermei, check on the Qi element, mind element, the Qi element, the breathing element, the refinement. But all the 3B, the 3B state is within this book. And the Ermei is only refined the 3B book, 3B state. Okay? If you go directly to the Ermei, then you're going to get lost, because you don't know what is the short strike is about. If you directly go to the White Crane, you get lost too, because you don't know what is the short strike is about. And if you talk about Southern Shaolin, and like today, in this era, everybody talk, oh, it's from Southern Shaolin, this is this. But I say, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Then people start arguing, oh, there's Southern Shaolin in Fujian, in different place. So which Southern Shaolin temple? We don't have to do that. We just cut all the confusion. You go to this book. That's the Bible of the Shaolin short strike. Okay, the Bible of the Shaolin short strike, and that is the what do you call it, the root of it. Okay, with the drawing and everything. So that's how it is. Got nothing to do with your Tai Chi or internal. Forget about those. Wing Chun is based on Shaolin sword strike, which we can identify, and it is the verified, real deal martial art books. It's a Shaolin based, even though it is from Mian Zhang Quan, now we have evolved into Shaolin. And you have all the 613.3. It's that simple. And then you can go back. So right now I encourage everybody, I show you the Bible, go get it. The issue for this is that it's very difficult for people to translate this today because most people have no idea what is classical Chinese. And let me tell you, even people who translate the chapter 14 of this 绩效新书 from Qigong, people get I think get a master degree or something like that. The thesis is a mess because they don't understand what is going on. So this is what I suggest. You know, somebody in Wing Chun, we need to do a PhD on that. If you study in university, get a PhD to translate this kind of deal. Okay? Then we boost our Wing Chun to a formal university level. We need to do this job. So this is to share with you today, and hopefully, you know, I make this all clear. I cannot do it. I'm almost 60 years old, after 40 years in this thing. You guys can do a lot of things, okay? And I point out to you all these things already. Okay, I have to search everything, I have to visit different teachers to know what is going on and so forth. But now you know it, you take it and run, okay? So that Wing Chun keeping progress and expand, and going to benefit more and more people. So this is for you tonight.